What's up, everybody? Coach Mikhail here, along with Coach Luke.
What's up?
Here at Ace Jiu Jitsu Club in beautiful Austin, Texas. And today we're going to be talking about the S mount and how to choose which mount for what situation. And also a sweet submission in order to close out your mount position. All right, let's get started. All right, what's up? Let's talk about this for a second. First of all, this is the mount position. Now, the mount being that I'm on top of my partner, right? Now, this could be what's called the low mount when I'm sitting on top of their hips, or it could be the high mount in which I am up here off of their hips, right? And now I'm on top more of his chest. Each of those have pros and cons, right? So don't let anybody ever tell you one is better than the other, right? The interesting thing about the low mount, and by the way, in this situation, I would always be pressured down. I just want to make sure I'm communicating with you effectively, right? But in this mount position, my low mount, whenever he bucks and sends his hips up, whoa, I'm on top of his hips, so I get affected by his hips. So if you're ever concerned about somebody almost tipping you over because they're bridging real big, then you can go to a higher position. Now notice, when I get here, I take my hands, my fists, and I attack his elbows with my knees and bring him up to his head so he goes like this, ah, right, like he's on a little roller coaster. Boom, ah, right. So now when he bucks his hips, right, it doesn't really affect me because I'm no longer on his hips, right? So that being said, there's a bunch of, now we have some variance, some range, right? There's a bunch of cool little techniques that you get to do in between, right? This is not like a zero-sum game where you're either low or you're high. There's a bunch of angles in between, and that's the fun part about Jiu Jitsu. You get to explore that. Let's talk just for a moment about some S-mount options, right? And when I first started learning S-mount, it was like one way. There was one way to do the S-mount, which is my way, right, according to the coach at the time. And I'm here to tell you there's a bunch of different ways to do the S-mount. The way that works is the way that you should choose. I would say, of all of them, the lowest common denominator is the concept of creating the S, right? Sometimes their arm could be in, their arm could be out. It doesn't matter as long as you follow a couple of the simple rules I'm going to talk about right now. Right. So in this S-mount, I like to hop to the position. Do not like step to it, otherwise you're gonna let the person escape, right? So I need to have some kind of a connection. I like to go over and under, right? I have one arm going over and one arm going under. Boom. Now that I'm here in this position, I can hop to my S-mount, right? So when I hop, I give a little pressure against the ground. Boom. Here I am. Now notice, this leg now is going underneath his arm, and I have another one coming in. It could also be an S-mount here, right? I don't mind when their arm is trapped on the inside because I have a lot of really cool submissions available to me right here. One of my favorite is the Americana, right? And I'm gonna give you a little combination right here because once I hop to this position, if they're holding on to me, I have the opportunity to hit a reverse armbar. I pinch my neck on their wrist, I gable grip, top palm facing down, and I attack their elbow, pulling into the opening of their elbow. If we somehow rock backwards, when he rocks up, which is not going to work out really well for him, right? Because when he comes back, he's actually exposing his arm just a little bit more for me. I have a great submission now. Let's talk about what happens when they resist. Whoop. They resist and escape their hand. They move right into an Americana, right? It's a beautiful Americana. Just make sure that you rotate your knuckles when attacking this Americana. Boom. And you have a beautiful technique. Let's go backwards real quick. All right, again, let's chat about this technique. All right, here I am. I'm blocking their shoulders so they can't go, or I'm going over and under like we just talked about a second ago. Right? Now once I'm here, right? Boom! I'm inside of my position. He went right to the Americana. Boom. Boom. Excellent opportunity. When you're hitting this Americana, let's make sure that you are rotating your knuckles. Let's make sure you are rotating your other knuckles. Now, if you were to break this down into a formula, you want to rotate the knuckles connecting to your partner first, and then rotate the knuckles connecting to you, right? And it's the more acute angle, the better, right? So the tighter I come in, and I'm going to turn their elbow into his head. and that's how you break, right? Now, you might have the question, what if they buck me backwards? Buck me backwards? It's not very easy to buck me backwards and to roll on top for a couple of reasons. One, I have a handy dandy little kickstand if you come out and see my foot right here, right? Another reason, I'm attacking his arm in this situation. If I didn't have his arm, right, it would be even more difficult. His arm's in the back, right? He has nothing supporting this shoulder, right? So you can be largely pretty safe in this position as long as you make sure you avoid a couple of things. Notice my toes are live, right? They're not dead. Laces flat on the ground. My toes are live, right? Another thing is I make sure that I transition my weight leaning forward, right? And I'm attacking. So when he tries to roll, what's happening, Coach Luke?
Turns it on.
He's turning on the technique for me when he tries to roll because I'm sending it over his body. This is especially important when your partner is a lot larger than you, all right? Again, this is one of my fave techniques. If you have somebody you're rolling with that's a lot larger than you and they have a really big belly, and it's hard for you to have a solid mount in that position, I usually either dismount into side mount or I attack this very mount, which is the S mount. I'm super excited for you to try it and to hear your comments in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe, keep training, keep growing. Os.